So how's everyone holding up? I know it's kind of crazy out there right now with this coronavirus and everybody's tripping. But considering a lot of people are staying home, I decided to make another video to help you pass the time. This is going to be really similar to my previous video. Basically, I'm going to open up one of my projects. I'm going to go through, show you guys some of the vocals, show you some of the techniques I've been working on. Basically, really get into the song. Give you a couple previews of what it's going to be like. So first and foremost, I want to thank everybody for tuning in. For those of you who interact, for those of you who comment, who share, who subscribe, who give me actual usable feedback. That stuff goes way further than you would think. It's why I do this. I really appreciate it, and I hope it continues. So the song we're going to be getting into today is a song called Evolve. Believe it or not, this song is old. I think I started writing this song in like 2012. Yeah, it's that old. It started off really rough, so I took it, I totally refined it, I changed a lot of aspects. I kind of remixed it into a newer style, but I've changed a lot of stuff to kind of spice it up and make it more modern. So here is the instrumental track. I'm gonna slim it up again. So I'm gonna play a little bit of this first. So not too shabby. It's sounding pretty cool. Okay, this is pretty much the intro. This is right when they kick in. Something like this. Okay, so what do we got going on here? For starters, this is something I learned fairly recently, is to do a reverse reverb effect on the vocals. Pretty much, this is like if you've ever watched any kind of horror movie, the demon or the ghost or whatever, when you hear that really creepy, like feedbacky kind of voice, that's basically they're just applying a reverb and then reversing the clip, applying a reverb again, and then reversing the clip back to normal. So you have a reverb coming from the beginning of the vocal track and then fading out. It's not just a standard reverb where you throw a hall or a big coliseum on your voice. It actually reverses the voice. So I'm gonna solo that part out and show you how it sounds. All by itself, you can't really tell what that is. That sounds just like a kind of a build-up effect. But when you blend it with the actual vocal that it came from, it sounds really conducive and it sounds natural. It fits. So one more time, I'll show you. It actually starts way back here. Basically, it's starting off with me saying the word try. So you can hear just the prefix of that word and then it dies off. I don't want that reverb bleeding into the actual track. I want it to cut short. So here is the other vocal without the reverse reverb. So then when you blend the two together, it sounds kind of cool. So it gives you the sense that it's really coming in aggressive out of nowhere. It gives you a lead up into the vocal because harsh vocals are so tricky. I know that a lot of people don't like them just because they're so aggressive. There are ways to soothe how abrasive they can be. And one of those ways is to have a reverb lead into it. So you're preparing the listener for what they're going to hear. It's not just like, ah! It's actually, you're like, whoa, it's getting crazy. I can tell. So that kind of helps make the transition a little bit easier. Let's go ahead and listen to a good chunk of the vocals. I know we are. You start to lose your grip and holding up becomes too hard. Oh, I'm so okay, so these are obviously separate clips. I try not to overlap too much because I think it sounds kind of fabricated, but sometimes there's really not a lot you can do about it. For example, I know we are. You start to lose your grip. So realistically, if I slim this right here, it would be just, it's not going to sound good, but if I didn't have any overlap, it would be like this. I know we are. Start to lose your grip and holding. It doesn't exactly work. Okay, I'm going to jump over here. One really cool little thing that I did. There's this trick called automation that you can do with your vocals. And what it does is at a certain point in the song, it applies effects that you designate to that section. They're not active throughout the whole song. They just kick on right when you assign them. Some of those effects could be distortion, extra reverb, an AM radio effect to make the voice really dead. Another one that I like to use is vocal glitching and vocal chopping. This is the instrumental part where I put those vocal chops in. There's actually no cuts in the song. They're really acting on their own. So it's gonna be like this. I went in here and manually cut these. The only difference between manually cutting and automation, manual cuts, they've sometimes have residual like popping in between tracks. And you don't want that because in the mix, you won't be able to really hear it. It counts. It's like pennies in the bank. Every little sound that is unpleasant, that all accumulates to the overall quality of the song. So you want to remove any little sound that you can find. It just allows the song to become that much more clean. So if you ignore one issue and you're like, I can't hear it in the mix, it doesn't matter. And then you ignore another and another and another. Pretty soon you got all these clip sounds and these weird frequencies that are totally jumbling up the quality of the song. You have to be really particular and you have to get those out of there. Pretty cool. Okay, so remember earlier I was talking about little flaws here and there? Well, I just found something that bugs me. I don't know if you can hear it. You can hear just a little tiny pop. Basically right before that vocal kicks in, you can hear a tick. It's like someone unplugged a mic. So I have to find that because it's gonna bug me. What in the same hell is going on? So I can't figure out what the hell that is right now, and I'm not gonna get into it and waste a bunch of time. So this is a background scream that I put in just for a little bit of ambiance. Ooh, oh, okay. Right before I get to that, I wanna show you this. Through some automation. Ooh, it's a TSC. Right down there, that stands for, that's a distortion pedal. So this is a really badass effect that I am in love with. I don't really know how I pulled it off. You just gotta tinker and play. It's like a build-up, and then I threw a bunch of like twisty, kind of morphing electrical effects on it. So it gives it like a really hardcore punch. It's like static electricity going through a tube, and then it finally comes out the other end with a boom. Let's solo out that background scream. That's pretty cool. What I might do is that ping-ponging echo. That rah, 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 rah. I might actually boost that volume up. I don't know, I just like that. It almost sounds like a mountain lion way the hell out in the canyon. Okay, so now we're gonna jump into some clean vocals. It starts off real subtle, real soft, and then it builds into this loud chorus. So here we go. Okay, so I did have a harmonize track right here, but I think it's turned way down. Yep. That's fine, I'll leave it. I want to jump into this little cluster. So these are a group of layered vocals. There's actually 4 tracks here. So I'll go one by one and show you how they blend together. So there's one, here's another. They're all different. So that's a little goofy by itself. I know it sounds kind of funny, but it does contribute to this big epic sound. Every little voice counts. That's just a straight tone. So let's do a few at a time. Let's do these two because they obviously blend. Okay, let's do this bottom pair. So let's add a third. Okay, sounds kind of cool. That alone, I don't like that. So it needs one more. With this top one, that really ties it all together. And that's it. Okay, and then obviously I come in with a really powerful single chorus vocal. Take me to the day when I was so young and so detached from all that drug me. So let's play that all together. So, a lot going on. I basically have a main clean vocal track. I have a harmonizing track, and then at certain points I bring in 2 more backup vocals. So these are those backups. So let's see how they sound all together with no music. Okay, that's kind of funny. This little it's so funny out of context. Like when you take a vocal and doesn't have any backup, it just sounds silly. But mix it in with everything and it sounds kind of cool. Alright, let's continue through the chorus. I really like these. I want them to be a little louder. There we go. Now they match. I almost sound like a car horn. Just start it in the middle of it. Okay, let's hear how those sound boosted. Okay, it looks like I have a scream and a high ending at the same time. So this is the scream. And then I mix that with this guy. I'm gonna mute that. I almost don't like the beginning of this, but I do like the end where it builds in intensity. Yeah, that end is really cool. It sounds alright, though, in context with the whole mix. I might remove that scream. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. Okay, real quick, I'm gonna prepare you for this weird... So I have this glitchy scream, so I took a scream and I ran it through this thing called D-Blue Glitch automation program, and it chops the vocal and makes it all fucked up, but in a good way. So right here I did that reverse reverb fade in once more. See, you can't even tell if that's a vocal on its own, but then when you throw it in with its corresponding vocal, that one's a little rough, but I'm gonna play with it. But together it sounds pretty good. There, and I threw more chops. So that just sounds like white noise, right? But that's actually a distorted scream. Alright, I'm gonna jump over to this spot where these are fairly new vocals. I just recorded these a few weeks ago. and I think they're kick-ass. I think they fit really well within this phrase. Let's try them all by themselves. So that low one, that low one starts way back, and that's fine. Okay, time to jump over to where it calms down. Now this little phrase, I've never experimented with any vocals like this. I'm singing in falsetto, and I'm also singing with a bass note under it, so it's an octave down. Falsetto is really weird, especially for guys, because it can sound like really unnatural, but that's why I threw an octave note underneath of it. It's all experimenting, we'll see. This is the... I've reached the end. That's the low one. I'm following the setting. Yikes. I'm gonna have to go through and retract that. There's a lot of mistakes in there. I've reached the end. I'm following the setting sun. That one's alright. I might retract that as well. I'm surprised it sounds halfway decent given how many mistakes are in this lower one. I've reached the end. I'm following the setting sun. This section right here is actually my favorite in the entire song. I can't be. This lead vocal brings it into that intensity. It builds up. Starts off kind of vulnerable sounding and soft, and then it just builds and builds. I can't be more hollow. And that clash note was intentional. I can't be more hollow. So that's just a straight note that flows with the root note of the song. Honestly, that sounds kind of cool. I like that. But what I also did is just doubled it up with a root note. When you take two notes that aren't harmonized, that clash, you get that little friction sound for a second. And if it's done briefly, it sounds kick-ass. But if you do it too long, it sounds just off. So here they are together. One last little thing, this I can be more hollow. Those together are absolutely perfect. I love it. You have the main vocal coming down a note like a stair pattern, and then you have the octave notes going up in a stair pattern. They basically start at opposite ends and then meet up into a vocal harmony. I can be more hollow. So that's that. Then finally at the very end, I have another little trio. So it starts off as a duet and then ends as a trio. This is another example. It's just different interpretation. If you have one clip all by itself, it doesn't make sense. But if you have all the clips together, you have a cohesive story. I'm gonna stop there. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope it helped you kill some time. Stay tuned because I'm gonna keep pumping out content just like this. I think I'm gonna go through each song and do the same kind of thing with every song before the album is released. That way you kind of have information, what to expect, and then you can actually hear the album drop. You'll understand it and you'll be like, oh, okay, and you'll recognize it. Yeah, stay safe out there. Take care of each other. Don't panic. Don't buy all the toilet paper. It's already gone anyway, but I'll catch you guys next time around.